Step 8, made a list of all persons we had harmed and became willing to make amends to them all. Oof, that sounds like a tall order, because as an active alcoholic, amends weren't high on my list either. The idea that I would make a list is extremely important because much of what I think about is at the subconscious level. More than 90% of our thoughts take place at the subconscious level. And a lot of the things that I owe people amends for, I wasn't even aware of anymore, but they were really emotionally disturbing to me. So the idea of making a list is to empty this out of me, get it out on paper, take a look at it, and see what must be done with it. Making a list, like I say in the beginning, faintest ink is better than the sharpest memory. It has to be written down so we can look at it and not justify. Because when things roll around in my head, I have a way of justifying my behavior. It was somebody else's poor behavior that made me act harsh to them. So what I got to do with this is I got to sit down and say, okay, who do I owe an amends to and why do I owe them an amends? Amends really just means compensation of some sort. Like I could start with my family. The first amends I really made were a living amends. I went to my wife and my son and I said, hey, look, I'm sorry for what I've done. But I'd said that before. The idea is a living amends is what I do with that. Do I wake up every morning and do the right thing? Do I stop drinking and drugging? Do I carry my load at home? Do I bring the paycheck home? You know, there was a time an armored truck couldn't have brought the paycheck home. So by doing a living amends, I really showed my family I meant business. Many people get afraid when they're doing their 8th step because they're writing this list down with the idea in the back of their head that, eventually that means I'm going to have to go face to face and admit where I had done wrong. My part, not somebody else's part. I have to clean up my own side of the street. So this step only requires that you make a list. Try to stay in the moment. Don't project about what's going to happen in step 9 when you actually have to go there and confront the issue. The idea right now is just stay focused on the moment. Look at it. Do a searching, sweeping, deep inventory of who you had harmed, what your justification was, what your rationalization was at the time for making the decisions you made. What character traits do I have that allow me to make these misguided choices? Because until you admit there's a problem, there's no chance of fixing it. So with step 8, the important thing for you to do is simply sit down, relax, get honest, take your pen in your hand and just write down step by step, person by person, who and in what manner did I harm someone. What I suggest you do is read step 8, grab a pen and a paper, become honest, open-minded, and willing enough to write down exactly who you've harmed, who you owe an amends to, and then just sit back, take a deep breath, and don't go any further.